Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
everybody. Welcome to November.
Yeah, yeah. It's November. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk
It's
about November right now.
I don't
Uh,
wanna.
Gary and everybody else who is in Oklahoma, make sure you keep your head down, keep your eye on the sky, make sure you're paying attention to the weather. They've had a few tornadoes out there today, a heavy rain, and possible flooding. So make sure y'all are safe.
Yes,
That's all
very
I got
much
to
so.
say.
Because if y'all get washed away, there goes my audience. I can't have that.
Yeah, we can't wash away our audience. We just can't have it. And I have been under the gun, not so much with tornadoes, but with rain and everything else and possible flooding. It's still going on right now. Um, so they're, and this stuff is just pushing and pushing and pushing. And I'm like, yeah, it's November.
Yeah,
We should
definitely.
we
And
should start talking about, I don't know, hard
Thanksgiving
freezes, hard
food.
freezes, and
Oh, and
snow.
I'm sitting here as we're speaking, and it is 78 degrees here. It's been raining the majority of the day. It is so muggy. I have to peel myself out of my clothes when I get done today. I
Yeah.
know y'all.
Well,
I know y'all didn't want that visual, but
it's 65 here and it's been raining all day.
yeah, and as little rain as we had in October, we're welcoming it. Don't get me wrong, but
Oh yeah.
you could
Oh yeah.
only go so much. You got to slack off a little bit.
It's like, can we have it in moderation and not all at once, please?
Yeah,
That's
please,
that's all I'm
please.
asking. Yeah, that's all I'm asking.
Well, so outside of that, we pretty much had a good week this week, though. It sounds like most of you guys out on the other shows had good other. I obviously had my fun week, as everybody knows, but we did fairly decent numbers most of the week on everybody. Said, I'm like, everybody's having fun. Then all of a sudden, everybody kind of disappeared on me. I'm like, wait a second, Halloween came along and nobody
And,
says hi, nobody says happy, nobody says y'all just didn't like my Bigfoot in the yard. That's what it was.
yeah, poof, everybody gone. No, I was on, of course, Blondes and Booze Friday night,
Yeah.
and then Saturday I took up a extra shift at work, and I tell you what, a migraine came on, so I couldn't be on Bigfoot Michigan Rob.
Yep.
I felt really bad about it, but you know, the way it stands with the lighting and everything, it's always blaring in your face, and it's
Yeah.
like you can't sit here and deal with that when you have a migraine. I'm sure everybody knows
No.
that
Yeah.
light and
And
migraines are a no go.
yeah, I mean, that's that you're I agree with you that I've got a daughter that's got migraines and they quote unquote diagnosed me with migraines in the army. That was after a minor stroke. They literally diagnosed me as having migraines. And I'm like, okay. So, and
Right,
every
right.
once in a while I'll get one, but I know what you mean. You want to be in the darkest place possible, no noise, no nothing. Just shut up and let me sleep.
Yeah, just let me, and I tried to listen to the podcast and I couldn't. I
Yeah.
just couldn't. All I could just do is just lay there and pray for sleep.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
Tex was telling me that people are getting ear piercings inside their ear
What?
that is supposed to yeah, it's not the first time I've heard of it, but it's supposed to be uh, Kimmer says a daft piercing.
Hmm.
And they're supposed to be very helpful when it comes to migraines. I'm just a big chicken when it comes to stuff like that.
Let's see. No, I'm not getting a ear piercing in any way, shape, or form. I got Excedrin and migraine. I'm good. Just let me sleep. I'll be all right. And the
I'm a
daughter,
chicken.
the daughter that has it, she has hypothyroidism, so she's already got a little bit of an issue there that's helping cause it in the first place, I think.
Right.
And so, but we found a thing called MyGrelief that we buy for her. It's like an herbal supplement, if you want to call it that, but essentially boosts up her magnesium. Okay, and
Hmm.
boosting up the magnesium is supposed to help it. And usually, when she's on that, she doesn't have as many episodes. It's kind of a preventive thing, so
Right.
it helps. I mean, but you still can't stop them at all. Full force. You'll never be able
Right.
to stop them full force.
Well,
So,
the only way that I could get a daft piercing is from a tattoo and piercing place, which are available to me.
hmm
But I'm still chicken. But I'll let everybody know if I get up enough guts.
I say
You know.
take somebody with a camera and stream it.
It's something, something. Because I mean, oh my goodness, because I could sit there for hours on end getting a tattoo, and I have, but I can't.
I probably don't need to know that, but okay.
Well, tattoos are not just a little 20-minute thing and you're done.
Oh no, not even close.
Right. So it's kind of like I can sit there for hours and do a tattoo, but getting one piercing that lasts approximately 1 second, like and it's done.
Yep.
I don't think I can do it. I don't know.
Because you're getting drawing on your body with a needle and ink versus somebody poking a hole in your body.
It's still the same thing, really. It's all needles.
Let me explain something to you. I'm probably the only Army veteran ever don't have a tattoo, don't have a piercing. I have never ever been that drunk. Okay, so it's not gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. No way, shape, or form.
Well, I hate to break your bubble, Randy, but nowadays getting a tattoo, they don't allow you to be drunk anymore.
Well, once again, that means I still won't do it because if I'm not knocked out and them dragging me in there, I'm not getting it. But yeah, so I know people enjoy it. They use it as their creativity on their bodies and such. To each their own. I don't care. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, there's some people that make a bad decision sometimes and put tattoos in wrong spots. Like today, I actually shared one. I'm not trying to get political, but some girl, and I'm betting this is a removable tattoo. It has to be. I would hope to God it is. But it's got the picture of her or the video of her getting tattooed, and she's got Trump tattooed across her forehead.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like you support whoever you want to support, but I mean, that's like the guy that got no regrets across here, and they misspelled it as regrets on that commercial.
Regrets, yeah.
No regrets.
I got a little regrets.
But I mean, so it's I don't, especially if a good tattoo, a good classy tattoo. I mean, good ink, good color, well done. It looks good. I mean, honestly, it does. I mean, I've seen guys with sleeve tattoos that are just immaculate works of art. They really are.
Mm-hmm.
The artist deserves every bit of credit in the world because it's hard to do it to somebody like me when he's sitting there crying and sniveling the entire time you're doing it. So yeah, it just don't work.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a couple tender spots where I was like, whoo, cried a little, but it was all right.
I got a brother who was a Marine, and he come home and his first tattoo was on his chest bone right here. And anybody gets a tattoo, they say that his chest bone is one of the worst ones because it hurts the worst.
Yeah, the rib cage. Yeah, anywhere on the rib cage.
Instead of doing a nice little manly Marine thing or whatever, no, he's got a butterfly, a pink butterfly. And this is 1978 when he got it. So that ought to tell you something.
They can fix that nowadays. Just to let him know they can.
No,
fix that.
I ain't telling him nothing. He's living with that for the rest of his life, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so all right, everybody, I got all the show stuff in the comments or in the description again, so everybody knows when the shows are. Nothing's changed as far as times that I know of right now, unless somebody just doesn't show and says, you know what, we just ain't doing it this week. But all the times that are supposed to be there are there. So if you're subscribed, make sure you got the bell on so you get the notification that's coming your way.
Right.
And then that'll take care
all
of that.
All the shows are still going, everybody. All the shows are still going.
Still going.
Now, I do know this. And, Krista and I haven't talked about it, but it is a given. Thanksgiving. Krista and I will not be on Blondes and Booze, just to give everybody a heads up.
I don't think much of anybody's doing much of anything that day. I would imagine we'll probably do a rehash or something.
If something happens, we might all jump on if we're all bored or something later on in the evening, but that's about it.
But that's the same day as for Brunch for Bigfoot, Michigan Rob. So, Brunch for BMR, I would assume, I haven't talked to him, I would assume he's not.
I don't think, this is right in the middle of the afternoon. I don't think he'd be going on Thanksgiving.
I would think he'd be with his mom and everybody else. So I would think
so. I think when it falls on something major, a major holiday, even Christmas, but hey, we've been known to do stuff.
Yeah.
Don't count us out, but don't plan on it either. But we'll let you know, it'll be a last minute thing. So that'll be it.
If we're there, It'll be a surprise to you as much as it is to us.
That's right.
So, okay. So, I said last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, I was looking at doing a investigation in Mineola, Texas this last week or last night
Yes.
to be exact.
Yes.
And
How
friend of
exciting.
a friend of mine we went a couple of years ago, the front porch crew. We went a couple of years ago to a traveling Bigfoot show that had its conference in Mineola. And I found out after we got there, and of course it was hot and steamy that day and in April. And we're like, I'm going into the theater where all the speakers are talking because they set it up on the street. They set us up out on the street, like Main Street drag. It was beautiful. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
It was a great show, but you could tell this had this hometown vibe to it. You know what I mean? I mean, you could,
Yeah.
when you go to a Main Street America type town, that thing, the same brick, uh, roadway out there, they had blocked it off so the vendors could put their tables out there. And they have right across the street from the theater where we were sitting, there's a place called Ye O Curiosity Shop.
Ah,
And it has all sorts of knickknacks and all this kind of stuff in it. It's owned by one of the gentlemen that help run the theater and stuff. And then they have the annex to the theater where they do stuff for plays. That's where they set up a lot of vendors in there
nice.
too. So
Nice.
it was well done, and the town is very welcoming to these kind of things. It turns out when we were there, I found out while we were in the theater that they do a Paracon every single year.
Really?
And I was like, wait, when do y'all do it? Oh, we did it last weekend. Well, crud, I'd have gone to that before I came to this. What the heck? So, but I found out
Oh,
about it. I didn't get to go last year, but I'm going this coming year. Believe me, they have already told me 3 or 4 people from yesterday told me, you come back during this and we'll show you a real good time. I was like,
right.
I'm there.
Right.
But we come in, and another lady that was with us, we go into to the theater to sit down just to get cool and listen to, I believe it was Daniel Jones that was speaking at that point. And then George Jones, a gentleman from that area, not the singer, but a gentleman named George Jones, he comes in and he does his little presentation because they gave him a opening presentation toward like the second from the end of the day or whatever. And
Hmm.
as we're sitting there, just kind of, and all I hear is, and Abby is up in the balcony up there. She likes to watch. I was like, ding, 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 ding. What? Are we sitting in a haunted theater right now? Yes, we were. And I immediately, after everything was said and done, I went down to try and talk to him, and we were start talking, going back and forth. And the other lady and about 3 or 4 others that were with me, a gentleman named Paul Ragsdale, he went with us, and we got an impromptu tour of the theater.
Nice.
And this thing was just awe-inspiring, especially when you get up into, they still have the blocked off area where it was quote unquote the colored seats in the 50s.
Right.
You could still see the silhouettes from the sweat off the bodies from where they were leaning back against the wall like that. The sweat silhouettes were still on the paint and plaster there, and they covered them with
Wow.
plexiglass to preserve them, so that way they don't get painted over or anything.
Isn't that something?
It's called a select theater. But anyway, I digress. Sorry, that was, it just caught us all off guard. But some of the stuff we couldn't see because we had people set up in them and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So we did a camp out. We went out to their woods where they have some Bigfoot activity supposedly, and then I'm in with the other day. Last month I contacted a gentleman named James Pogue and said, "Hey, I want to see if I can bring my daughters out there. They've never been. Well, Abby obviously has been on investigation with us, but I said
Hmm.
my other daughter and their boyfriends, they haven't been on one. They've never been on a real investigation. I'd like to see if we can get into the train station there and see what we can do." He's like, "Let me look at it." He got us in for last night. But before we did it, we did the ghost walk, the ghost tour that they do down there on Saturday
Yeah.
nights, which was
Hmm.
cool because a lady named Sharon, she was a beaut. I loved her. She told stories great. She brought out a couple of K2 or a K2 meters, some dowsing rods, so people that were on the tour could do investigations as we
Oh,
went
nice.
along.
Nice.
And it was cool. But I had a bunch of K2 meters with me as well. So I said, "Hey, if anybody wants one, I'll give you one of these. You just give them back to me at the end of the tour."
Right.
So everybody had a K2 meter, and everybody was like, "Hey, this is going crazy." I said, "Well, it'll pass in a second." Sure enough, as soon as I'd walk to it, it'd leave. I must be a repellent. I think I've been around text too long or something.
You might. You might. Yeah. But you
Because
probably weren't ready for it either, you know?
no,
You
no,
probably weren't ready
but
for it. Because
and it
you
yeah,
know,
go
we
ahead.
all know that you kind of have to be geared up and you
Yes.
have to kind of be focused in. If you're not focused in, you're not getting nothing.
No, my poor daughters, they literally were, oh, I like that spot over there. I'm gonna go over to that spot over there. They were immediately zoning in on stuff that she was saying, yeah, something happened over there, something happened over there, and they were zoning into it. One daughter goes over, sits down on this bench out in this little park area thing, and she sits on it and says, I want to sit over there. And sure enough, it's going, her K2's going crazy. Supposedly, a little spirit of a boy named Daniel was coming to see her, and he sat next to her and touched her. She said she felt the cold on her arm and her hair stood up. And she's like, it was a weird feeling, like something was just kind of doing this to her, type thing. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, well, let me see. And I start to come over with my voice recorder, see if I get it to talk into my voice recorder. The minute I got over to her and started talking, gone. She's like, he don't like you. Like,
Yeah, but no, I mean, you can't be discouraged because we all know that
no,
spirits have a limited ability to
exactly.
connect and stuff like that because they wear out and get tired too. So, I mean, we
Yeah,
have to be careful of that when you're investigating, of course, because you know there's a low
exactly.
time. So basically, what you do is you walk away, you let them do their thing, and then try and come back later, see if there's something
Exactly.
else in that area you can pick up on.
And we had a blast with it. Don't get me wrong. And we had one, two, three. We had about six or so, I think, on six. No, at my four. So it's about eight actually, other than the two that were walking from the city with us. The two
Mm-hmm.
guides. So we had about eight that were out there, and there's a young couple, a little bit older couple, and then my four.
Mm-hmm.
And we walk. She'd give us a little spiel on a couple of places, and then I've got some pictures from a place called the Old Henry Hotel that I did what we always preach. I literally said, okay, each one of these spots you're telling me I need to look at, I'm doing my three shots of my phone, 3 shots of my phone, 3 shots, and I did 3 or 4 shots in some situations because I never could tell when the phone was actually taking the picture or not. So because I turn off the
Right.
flash, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I made sure I turn off the flash. I tried to get far away from any actual external light sources, which is impossible, obviously, on a street and next to a gas station that has a big old street light on it. But
Mm-hmm.
I I've have not even looked at the photos. I'm going to be putting them up here for the first time, and I'm going to see what everybody else sees. But before we do that, before we do that, I've got one or two though that I would like to put up for your perusal first.
For my
Ooh,
perusal.
you
All
like
right.
you like that word? I'm gonna call it my
I do.
perusal.
I like that perusal. I like perusal. I like that. I like it.
Okay. Well, this one, the owner of the photos said there's a 3 shot series here, and I'll let you just do your thing with it and you can tell me what you think. But a friend of
Okay.
mine sent me these pictures yesterday. And it doesn't tell me when or anything, but there's nothing on that. But there is timestamps on the pictures of the pictures. Let's put it that way. So
Okay.
they're confirmed, authentic, and not altered. Immediately, bells are going off. Pay attention to the timestamps. These were taken in South Central Oklahoma near the state line on private land. There's a cemetery 200 yards away from the hunting stand. So, Mr. Gary Spice might actually know this place. Who knows? This is the first picture. So as you can see, the reveal camera. Not much about it. Now, in the comments of this one, I will tell you there were people pointing out this high little grass over here, which we obviously know right now that's nothing but grass over there. But you can see, yeah, you could draw a little bit of a conclusion from it, shall we say? You can see a little bit of a face there, right?
Yeah.
But it's the weeds. It's the weeds, just the way they happen to be blowing or whatever at that point.
Right.
So you can see the timestamp here. It's on the actual camera. Now we're thinking, well, I was thinking as I was doing this, I'm thinking that this is when it first boots up / gets set up for the night. It has not, but it doesn't have. This should already be set. It should be set in the actual setup of the camera. Okay, I should not see 0001900, you know. The date and the time should already be set. But here is their timestamp that they put on it. We move to the next one, and this is what we got.
Okay. I can't really see it. It's super small for
Okay.
me.
I'm going to come in now.
What is that thing off to the right there?
I don't know. I can't tell you that for sure. I know what it looks like. It's supposed to be looking like a little girl out there, barefooted in a white dress, long blonde, dark hair, facing away.
Kind of.
Okay. But when you back out, now look at the actual timestamp now. This timestamp has changed. They've got the actual date, they've got the actual time. Okay.
That does look a little weird.
So they made this one look this timestamp match this timestamp. Okay. My biggest issue, and I'm going to go back to the first one now. In 1 minute, this timestamp is not going to change. It's just not going to. It doesn't happen.
Okay,
1
what
minute.
is the? It's super small for me again, Gary.
Yeah.
I don't know about other people, but I really have a time gearing in or
Seeing what you
seeing
want
that.
to see.
Yeah,
Well, and this one, there's nothing in the picture itself that I can see.
yeah.
I
But
don't see
okay, so let's look at the timestamp.
timestamp here. You see it. Then what they put on here as a timestamp when they took the picture of the picture or whatever the case might be.
So they're showing what 1700 there, or what are they showing?
Well, they're showing here the year 1900. There's no time in it. There's no real date.
Okay,
It's
so
just
that
like
means
it
they
just
don't have it
started up.
set up. They don't have
It's
it
not
set up.
set up.
Right.
But
Okay.
they're saying with this that this is the timestamp that this was taken. I cry BS because
How are they going to know? I
yeah.
mean, if it's a game cam, you can't say that it's 7:42 if you have nothing. So if you have a game cam and you've got it set up and you're like, oh, it's an hour ahead or an hour behind,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but it's showing 0 100 hours, which is a no.
Yeah, no. So when you look at the next one, though, that's supposedly the next in the series, and you see this, and now look at your timestamp again, 1 minute later.
All right,
1
let me
minute.
see. Pull it in so I can see the timestamp.
Yep. Not this one is 1 minute later. Okay. This one all of a sudden is completely right.
Yeah, no.
And I've started up game cams before, trail cams, and I've seen the 00 until the memory really kicks in, right? Or the card, depending on the type of camera, like these crappy old ones that I got here that literally I have to go in and configure a text file on the card to put it in there so it will actually start at the proper time and do the proper actual, I program mine. I want shot 15-second video, shot 15-second video.
Right.
Okay. I
Well,
have
yeah.
to do that physically in that card, but that's
Right.
automatic.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bristol said it's 7:45. Would it be that dark? Yes, absolutely. If that is set up for hunting, it's a game cam. I'm pretty sure it would be dark.
It's pretty close to that time. At that time, we hadn't fallen back yet, so that's first and foremost. We hadn't fallen back, but yeah, at that point, we were already in the dark most of the time. At that point,
Well, this
even
was
around here,
Wednesday night.
yeah. So I would say that was probably pretty close to being dark.
Now,
Oh
I wouldn't have even
no.
put those two pictures together. But maybe that's the only other picture they had,
Yeah.
because the game camera is only going to catch motion. So maybe that's the only other picture they had. But I don't know why they would put a timestamp on it themselves and say it was
Yeah.
taken 1 minute earlier, because that doesn't look like 1 minute earlier.
It's physically impossible. I mean, they have to reset the camera and do the actual configuration of the date and time. There's no way that picture is 1 minute after that picture.
No, there's no way. It's
So,
absolutely no.
and now Ristle's kind of right. Look, if you look up here, you can see the silhouette of the trees. So I would say it's probably a little later than dusk. There might be a little bit of light stuff left out there. You know what I mean?
Could be.
So, but it just, I don't think there's any way that this could be that. What could be that? It's saying dusk up here, obviously, for the reveal. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact second. It
no,
could be 7:42 and then 7:43, but there's
yeah,
only like 30 seconds, difference from when the clock was 7:42 to 7:43.
yeah.
To me, it seems like there would be, because the deer were underneath it,
You think they
that
still kind of be in that area, right?
there would be another picture.
There should have been.
There
Should
should
have
have
been
been.
bap.
Yeah, it should have, at least done 2 or 3 quick bursts, and you would see even the tail end of a deer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You would think.
yeah. That's there. There should have been something showing more deer. I mean, they should have. If it was, I want to see the series because there's no way. Like I said, there's just physically no way for this timestamp to change to that timestamp in 1 minute. It just will
No,
not happen. It
no,
does not
I think
happen.
I don't think that timestamp is legit.
No. And so this
I
one,
mean,
I'm thinking could have been done days before.
okay. Well, let's
You know,
just talk about the picture. Let's talk about the girl, because we know the
all right, we're talking
timestamp's
about the
messed
girl.
up. I don't even want to talk about that timestamp. Let's
Yeah,
let's
let's
look.
look at the girl.
Let's look at the girl.
Hey, girl. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in as close as I can get to her. She's already pixelating out here a little bit on me there, but now I don't want to say pareidolia on it because I don't think it
That's
is.
not. It's not
No,
pareidolia. It's not pareidolia because it wasn't
the
even in the
first one.
previous picture, regardless
Yeah,
of what it was.
yeah. We should have seen something. If it was a static image or a static thing actually there, a stump or whatever, we would have saw it in that first
We would
picture.
have saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now this can kind of be the hair and such could be, yeah, you could kind of explain it back here, but it doesn't make enough sense. It doesn't make enough sense to be part of the darkening behind it and such. So did they superimpose something over this when they did all the funny timestamp stuff at the bottom?
Well,
I,
this
I
one has a timestamp.
yeah, this one has a timestamp, this timestamp here, but when they put this timestamp on it here as part, because this isn't one that this gets put on by something else. This timestamp is the one that came from the camera, the actual camera itself. Somebody put this timestamp on there. I can't see anything there that would actually show like an overlay
I can't either. I
or
can't
something
see
that
where it's superimposed,
no.
photoshopped.
I would have been happy with this picture alone. I would have liked to have had a little bit more of a series if they hadn't put the other one with it. If they hadn't put that with it, I might not have even questioned this. I might have actually looked at it and said, that's actually a really good catch type thing.
Yeah. Gary says it's a real girl that is staged there.
Okay. There's a real girl stage there. Then why am I only getting part of her? Like her feet, unless she's sticking it down in the grass there, maybe.
Grass might be a little bit high, but this is my thing. Why would you take a little girl out at night by a deer stand?
To make us talk about it.
Yeah, and that, yeah,
That's the only reason I could think of.
and I'm going to tell you this: that deer stand is oddly placed. It's
So,
right out in the open.
well, yeah, that's not a stand. That's a feeder.
I mean, the feeder. It's well, I mean, yeah, that's true too. All
The
right, so the
stand
feeder,
itself, if you look over here, you can see
the
what's
stand.
part of the stand is starting over here. I think the stand, if I'm not mistaken, you would think would be back behind the camera here.
You would think.
That's what I would think. But yeah, the feeder, definitely it's going to be out in the open like that. It's a wonder we don't see hogs and stuff around it. But with nothing else around it, and it's this time frame, and normally you have deer or something around it, that means somebody walked in there, like Gary's saying, and did something that may have frightened off all the wildlife that was coming in to feed.
Possibly.
It's tough to say. I mean, but now the next one on this one is a close up of her, and it looks like they did a little enhancing.
Yeah.
So I don't like this photo at all. I mean,
Can you give me a close up on that?
Yeah, coming in. And so your feet aren't there. There's no feet.
Well, they could be in the grass.
Yeah.
I'm having a problem with her head.
Up here?
Yep.
What you got?
See how huge that is with her hair?
Yep. And the way it comes
Almost
down.
as if it were a wig.
Kinda. I am. Yeah, I mean.
It kind of looks like a wig to me. Like a
Yeah.
little girl wearing a wig.
So that would lean everything we stand, just like Gary said. Oh, it's his daughter. That's why she's facing away, according to Gary. Okay. So that would make sense. They're doing this to screw with people.
Yeah, because it looks to me as if, because the hair is not really, I mean, it's huge from what
Yeah.
we're looking at. It's huge.
Yep.
And it reminds me of a wig.
And
So,
it very
I
well
mean,
could be.
that does make sense to put a little girl out there in a wig.
Yeah. I mean, because all they're doing is staging a photo.
Yeah, because if you're literally going to put out there one photo, which, if this being the case, makes a lot of sense. They take the one photo, with the one photo catches the deer in the photo, but they don't have their timestamp set.
No, they try to put it at the bottom on the picture of the picture and say it's good. No, it don't work like that.
Right. It's called the metadata, and you got to have that. And then you had the next picture, the timestamp is correct.
Yep.
But we have this figure here. Okay, go back to the next one and zoom in on her again to see if we can see that hair to make sure I'm not catching. Nope, her head still looks big.
Yeah. And that enhancement that they did on that close up doesn't really do a lot for it. You know what I mean? I mean, it actually does. You could believe this one right here quicker than you could believe that one. Because I mean, I can see her arm now. If you go in right here,
yeah,
you can see her arm just kind of crooked. I mean, she may be 8, 9.
I think she's wearing a wig.
Yeah, and she's out there because dad or mom said, "Hey, put this wig on and go stand over there."
Oh yeah, the night before Halloween, sure.
Yep.
Sure. Let's go take some scary photos. Absolutely.
Exactly. So I'm with Gary. I'm with Gary.
I think so too. I think that this is a setup thing. And I think that little girl's out there wearing a wig and they went out there to take spooky photos.
Gary came up one. Didn't. Yeah, he's absolutely right on that. There should have, but they just wouldn't tell us if it wasn't a video. They just, like I said, we would have had more of her walking in and everything else if he hadn't fixed it.
Well, he doesn't have to particularly take those photos. He can just take that one photo and take a different photo.
Yeah, he's manually working the camera itself. So
right, he's pulling what he wants, what photos he wants, and that's absolutely true. Yeah.
Yep. So
yeah.
All righty. Well,
I'm gonna say throw it out.
Yep.
I say throw it out.
Yep, it's got to be. No, and we spent 30 minutes on that, not even realizing it. Oh crud! Dang! I look up, it's like 35 minutes already.
Bristol said maybe it's a spirit who passed away in the 80s.
Well, yeah, but if she turned around and did a Madonna Vogue thing, I'd say okay.
I'm thinking with that dress, it would have to be 70s maybe. 60s,
Yep.
perhaps.
Yeah, I'm thinking 60s. If anybody watches the show Ghosts, there's a girl, a flower child on there called Flower, and that kind of looks like her dress. So
Right. But it's just the head and the hair is just
it's wrong. Yeah.
it's wrong. Yeah.
All righty then. Well, the next one, the next one, I have not a whole lot on this. I got a little bit that I was able to find on it, and the owner just the photo just says my cousin's security camera recorded his footage inside his home. Importantly, there was no little girls in the house when this was taken, quote unquote. Okay.
Okay.
It does have a timestamp on it. It's from 2021. But this one kind of it throws me off because I'm a little on the fence on it. So
Okay. Oh.
this one really kind of throws me off. If I go at face value for what they said, there's no little girls in it. What the heck am I looking at then? And judging from the way the legs are and how it looks like they're walking, that's not a little girl anyway. If it is, they've got some sort of cerebral palsy or they've got a problem with the leg.
Oh. Okay. So zoom in. I want to look at the back wall, if you don't mind.
Okay, you want it up top or right in here or where?
Right in the middle's fine.
Okay.
Huh.
I'm not seeing any real smudging
No.
or any straight lines. It's I think it's a legit picture. What it is, I don't know yet, but I want to get y'all's opinion on it, obviously, but I don't see anything that shows tampering, but it does show almost like a motion blur right here.
As if they caught her moving, which
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
And that camera, security camera like that, it don't discern. It literally just gonna pop that picture. I wish there'd have been more of it. I really wish there'd have been more of the pictures to go along with it. But I'm guessing this was the most clearest. This was the one they submitted. So
Okay. Pull it back out for me, please.
coming out.
It almost looks like she's sneaking in there.
Yeah. I mean, look at her foot right here, the way it angles and everything. It's almost like she's on the side of her foot,
Yeah. It's kind of odd.
Yeah. This one looks like it's straight out.
But
But
you never know with kids. They get
no.
goofy. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
They get goofy.
I've seen kids walk on the side of their feet many times. How many of them you seen walk on their heels just so they could,
Denise wants to know who's the man in the window. Let's check out the
Let's
windows.
check out the window. We'll see here. Right. I'm assuming right in here is what she's talking about. And I can't tell you because I don't really see a man. I mean, I see DB Cooper right here, but
I'm not seeing a man per se.
no.
Look down towards the bottom of the window.
Okay, coming down.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing much. I'm just seeing what's in the background.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe this goes into another room.
Okay,
but
so what I'm seeing, is that in the middle there, it's catching the hood of the stove.
oh yeah, this reflection right here. Okay.
Yeah, it's catching
From
the hood
here.
of the stove. Yep.
Yeah,
That's what
that
it's
very well.
catching.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Because it's kind of
here,
messy.
yeah,
So yeah.
you can see the arm of the jacket right here as well.
Yeah. So it's catching the hood of the stove and the mess.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check the other window.
She says there's a man in the window. I'm assuming. Let's see. That's in front of.
I'm not seeing anything in that.
Okay, she did say it. I'm assuming you mean this window right here, right, Denise?
I don't know. I mean, I'm like I said, this window I don't see anything in.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where she might see something right here. And this is obviously something that's on the windowsill.
I don't know. I do not know. I don't see it there. And like I said, in the other window, I'm getting the reflection of, like I said, the hood above the stove and all of that stuff.
Yeah, she says window on the left, so I'm assuming what she's seeing is this part right here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in that.
I don't see a man. I mean, I see this part right here on the sill, but I don't necessarily see a man. I mean, I don't know what this is right here. It's got to be some sort of reflection coming from somewhere else inside, but I don't know where.
I don't know. It
It
could
just
be a part of a barn outside for all we know.
it could be, yeah, because I don't see anything. It could, but then again, you're talking about a security camera, and here's my other
Right.
question: why did somebody set up a security camera in their kitchen?
I don't know. Maybe they had problems with somebody trying to break in the windows. I
Could
don't
be.
know.
Yeah, you are supposed to know this stuff. You're my one person. Hold me
Well,
to
there's a
to
lot
the
of people that have activity in the house that just plant them anywhere.
yeah,
They'll
that's
be in
true.
the living rooms and the back rooms and front porch, back porch, bedrooms. Um, they could be anywhere. I mean, this may be something that they like. Hey, we've had these noises, these things happening. Let's put a camera down there and see what happens.
Yeah, and they could have. I mean, maybe something moved in the night, and hey, why I didn't put that there? Let's stick it up here and see what we got. Or they, But I mean, I've known a lot of people that have done things kind of like that, especially when they're sleeping and they
Yeah,
wake up and have scratches and such. I
yeah,
didn't scratch myself. Well, after you watch it a while, you realize, yeah, you are scratching yourself. You just don't
yes,
realize you're doing it. So,
right, right, exactly. Well, I mean, she's wearing a tutu.
yeah, I mean, it looks like a little girl. I mean, but is she being sneaky, trying to get in there, sneak something out? Maybe she's trying to. I'm sneaking a
Yeah.
snack. Watch me, And
Well, and I
anybody with
can't
kids
see
knows.
again. I can't see anything where it was cut or
No,
it. An overlay or Photoshop. I can't see it.
no, and I didn't put it under my the different spectrum analyzers that I got with Adobe and such, but I can't see with the naked eye here. I mean, if it was an overlay, you see harsh edges, and these are all brushed or smeared in, shall we say, smudged in.
Right. I mean,
But
she's not translucent.
no, some parts of her are.
Maybe.
I mean, here a little bit. I think
Well,
you get,
I mean, you could be
yeah,
seeing through the skirt for all we know. I mean, I don't know.
exactly. But if there's no supposedly either way, I mean, even if if it was a kid coming in, obviously you could explain a motion blur with it like that. But you would think there'd be more solidity to her if it was a real person.
Right. She might be checking and see if the Red Baron's done.
Hey, I don't blame her. That's some good pizza right there. But
I can't see anything. I can't see anything wrong with it.
yeah,
I can't see anything wrong with it. I mean, based on what was said and what we are looking at, and we're basing this on if people are being truthful,
yeah.
I would say it's a good catch.
Uh, Gary said the pixels are different around the ghost than the rest of the shot, and
Could be.
in any situation like that, it will be a little bit.
Yep.
I mean, if I was to take a picture of you and zoom in on your shoulder, where your shoulder ends, where your sleeve ends, and the rest of the picture begins, there will be some differences between those pixels.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would say if it's an overlay or a superimposition where they superimpose the shot on it, I would say there would be a more of a straight angle. You know what I mean? There'd be straight lines, whereas
Right.
these are smudged. So it
Yeah.
lends to it being actually part of the actual photo. So
Right. And as we talked about this before, it's different manifestation states of the spirit itself. I mean, it looks like it's almost fully there, or it's starting to go away. and
Yeah.
it could be either or. But then again, like I said, basing it on what we're looking at, what the people say, if it's being truthful, it looks good to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, it looks like a good catch if they're truthful. And I
Right.
don't see anything that would cause me to doubt it right now.
Right.
So
I'm
hey, I
gonna say
didn't even.
that's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
catch.
Oh boy, now we're gonna rapid fire these. I just want everybody to get a look at them so you can kind of look at them, and I want y'all to tell me what you see in them because these are ones that how can I put it? These are ones that I caught in Mineola. This first one is, I think it was the Old Henry Hotel. Let me look at it real quick. While we were doing the ghost walk, this is
Okay.
the Old Henry. This we're going to do in the back of it first. They said, pay attention to the windows. Sometimes people catch whatever. Well, me, of course, you know me. I'm going out 333, 333. Away I go,
Right.
type thing.
Right.
Always a series of 3 or 4 every single time. This is the first one. We're looking back on the back side of the hotel here, which is now a curiosity shop or a antique shop now.
Okay.
It used to be a brothel at one time too. Then again, there was a lot of brothels there. The way I found the way as we were walking around, I was like, this one
Right.
used to be
Right.
a brothel. That used to be a brothel. I'm like, okay, my kind of town.
Right. Right.
All right. So the only thing I saw in this one when I first looked at it, obviously, was up here, but that is nothing but light pollution, if you want to call it that, because there is a gas station that's
Okay.
back over this side area
Right.
and there's a big light on it. So I
Mm.
tried to avoid that as much as I can. And then I walked behind it later on. That's the first picture in this series.
Okay. Let me look at the bottom picture.
Okay.
Uh,
Right.
not the bottom of the picture, but the bottom window, the one that has all the light on it.
This
That
one
one.
right
Yep.
here. Okay.
Yep. Okay. All right. I don't see anything. I was just looking to see if we had something to compare it to. Okay.
Yep. And that one, like I said, that's the first picture in the series. Then there's the second picture. I didn't see any changes whatsoever.
Did you
And
check
then we
that
got
window?
that third period. So there's those 3. I'm gonna make sure I got all 3 of these for you first. So, okay, so there's this first one. Go to the second
Okay.
one. Back to the window.
Okay.
Back to this window up here. No real change.
No.
And down at the base, I always look down here too, even though it's darker. I still look down here. Is there something else? I thought I might have saw a shadow right here at one point, but I don't think I did. Because if you look at the first one, when I can get it to do it anyway, it's kind of there. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It did change a little bit, but I think that kind of moved a little bit. And with that much light, I think it just kind of messed with it. So
Possibly, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, you can't catch everything on
no,
video or audio. You
no,
can't. There will be
nope,
things that you see that you're not going to get on camera. There's things that you're going to hear that you're not going to get on audio. It's just one of them weird things.
yeah, oh yeah. Now that's the last in that series. Well, I did 4. Sorry.
Smurfy said, can you show top window in the second image again?
Okay, top window
There,
and second image.
yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Let's make sure I got the right one. That's the first. That will be the second, and top window in the second. Okay, what do we got? I don't see much of a difference, so I'm interested.
I
And
mean,
like I said,
I see a little bit of pareidolia.
yeah, definitely this part right here. But I
Mm-hmm.
saw that in the first one too.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a head, shoulders. Could
Yep.
be a female. That's what it looks like to me. But I'm gonna say that's gonna be pareidolia. That there's
Yeah,
nothing there because it's in all 3 photos.
yeah, and that Smurfy, you're right. Yeah, it's maybe some para. So yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's what it is because, like I said, with that angle that I took this at, I was almost at a 45 to what the light was, so it would have been a perfect reflection back to me with the light. So
Right. All right. Let's check out the next set.
all right, next set. This is from the other end with the
Different
light
angle.
behind me. Yes,
Okay.
same place, different angle.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if there's something in there reflecting back out or not. This is where I kind of got confused with it because I could see it. Everybody could see it the whole time.
Hmm.
It never changed. In whatever angle you went with, it never changed.
I don't see anything that would
Yeah.
cause me to believe there's anything.
No. The only thing I would think of if that first one was a reflection, why am I getting the same reflection back this way again? That's the only thing I thought. But I think that they probably covered the window is what they did on the inside.
And they could have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
They could have.
because it didn't change. It didn't change at all. I mean, literally in all the pictures, it doesn't change at all. So
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything there either.
and nothing down in the lower windows.
Right. And this is pretty cool, everybody, because these are live investigation photos that
Yeah.
have been taken that have not been really
No.
looked
I haven't
at.
gone over them at
Mm-mm.
all. This is the first time right here. I mean, and I did a quick look, obviously, when I took the picture to see if I actually see anything. But we're talking about while we're on the walk, quick look. Okay, done, and away we go again. You know.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Yep, I didn't see anything in these windows
Mm-mm.
either.
Mm-mm.
So then that's the first one on that. There's the second one.
Yeah, this just goes to show you how boring it can be at times, but
Oh
to me
yeah.
it's exciting because you've
Yep.
got all these photos and you have to dig every window, every nook and cranny to see what you see.
Yeah. Exactly. So
Hmm.
I mean, nothing changes on them, and if you can go through these and you don't see anything changing at all, you've got
Yeah,
nothing there. It's
especially
just all there to it.
when you're quick pressing and you see nothing move, nothing
Hmm.
changes.
You're pretty much safe to say you didn't catch anything. Now this is in between. There's two sets like that little building you saw underneath the windows there.
Hmm.
There's two sets, and this is in between that. And this is going straight toward the ground floor area.
Okay. Now you weren't allowed in any of these buildings?
No, we couldn't go inside them. They're all privately owned and stuff, but they do give the permission for the ghost walk to take them through and take pictures and such like that. All right, so this one, like I said, basically, yeah, overgrown in the back, same stuff as what you saw with the light and everything.
Hmm.
There's the first one, second one, third one. Once again, not one thing moved.
Yeah, nothing is jumping out at me on these either. I'm not seeing anything that would jump out at anything kind of crazy at all.
No, I just had a cat push his way out the door, so I had to close the door again. If you ever
Well,
get
there you
cats,
go.
don't get one that can open the doors. All right.
Right.
Okay. So
I'm not seeing
yeah,
anything either in these, Randy.
nope, I didn't see them either. So I just want everybody to
And
look to see what they can see.
yeah, and it's very hard to find something, especially when you're taking a ghost tour and you can't spend a long time just observing
Yeah.
and looking.
All right. And then with that one, now this is the second gable, if you want to call it that, of the back side of the building. You see, much like the first one, and this one blurred on me for whatever reason. You see, you can still kind of see the same almost reflection that we got out of the first upstairs window,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in just basic
Nothing.
reflections. Okay,
Yep.
nothing
Mm-hmm.
down here,
Mm-hmm.
and as you go through, there's nothing that changes.
Nope.
So we've got nothing with that other than the fact I blurred the first image. Then I moved to this point just so I could kind of get closer to looking in that, because this was the window that they were telling us that we might be able to capture something. Well,
See, and I hate when they do that.
yeah, and I took it because I wanted to take it because, like I said, when I took the first one, those first batches, this is that same window from the last set of 3.
Mm-hmm.
You
Do
can
you have another
see,
set of 3 here?
yeah, I did that, but you see the quote unquote the reflection slash figure that you can kind of see right there. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't change with the thing, so that tells me there's a drape or something on the other side.
Yeah, because you're talking at least 6 pictures now of the
Yeah,
same thing,
and it
and
ain't
it
moved at
doesn't
all.
change.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
so but this is the way we had to do it. I mean, and I'm back there, and of course the girls were with me. The whole way. One's got dowsing rods, and the other's got the K2 meter. I don't think we had a hit on the K2 at all the entire time back there. So now this
Did you
was
see, did you see what NAC said?
yes,
Window shopping for Haints.
yeah, that ain't no lie. And that's what we were doing. We were doing a lot, especially with this hotel this building, because this was one of the ones with the better, more of the folklore and such
Right.
of the area. So, and I'll talk about that when we get to the other side. We're going to run short of time, but I may save that for next week to talk about the front side, because
Okay.
there's some stuff with that. It's basically the same as what we're doing right here,
Mm-hmm.
but we did some experiments with the front door. And I got some video out there. I think one of the daughters took a video of it. And if they did, we'll show it's how they supposedly get the brothel owner, the madam, to actually interact with people. But
Right.
we'll see that next time. So this is right below that window. It was just one thing going in, and you see me taking the picture and my fat what there. And as you can see, nothing changes.
Mm-mm.
So with that one, then I took a back toward the front ones again, just so I could get a better view of this downstairs area. Didn't really care so much about the windows per se, because of the angle I was at. If I caught anything, it was going to be a reflection anyway, is what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just nothing. Nothing moves. Nothing gets out of the ordinary.
And
And
sometimes it's just like this. You have to lean more on personal experiences.
that's what
Uh,
we had to do.
yeah, because sometimes you're just not going to get that photo. You're not going to get
No,
that picture that you're hoping for. But I
no,
mean, when you get the experiences of you feel like somebody's watching you, or you feel the cobweb feeling, or you can hear somebody walking around, those things can't
yeah,
be caught in a picture. They
no,
can't be caught in a picture.
no. And
So,
that's exactly why I wanted to do it like this. So when we do talk about the front side, because later on when we do the front side, me and the girls, after we did a lot of pictures of the front. One of the guys with us actually saw an apparition in the doorway moving.
mhm,
It was inside the building and moved
mhm,
from one side to the other. I asked him, was it a shadow, because we had a light behind us, obviously. Are you sure it wasn't a shadow? He's like, no,
right.
this didn't move like us back and forth. It moved from this side to this side, and it
Mm,
went where a shadow wouldn't have gone. And I was like,
right.
okay. So that
Right.
was James. That was the guy we were investigating with last night. So he saw it and he reacted to it. When I saw him react to it, I was like, okay, it's something he has not seen on these tours before.
Right.
So,
Well,
and yeah,
I mean, like I said before, the best tool to investigate with is yourself.
and the brain.
Pay attention to what your body's telling you.
Oh yeah,
When you get those goosebumps for no reason, or you feel cold spots, or, you're just hearing things, or you're
yeah.
seeing things, just pay attention to what your body's telling you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like I said,
Don't dismiss it. Yeah, don't dismiss it, because I mean,
and
it could be something else.
that's what I told the girls, last night. And this is like a full blown training with them. I mean, Olivia, she's going to be going with me to the Paracon. She's probably going to be going with just about any of the other ones I go to, because I've got her like on my hip all the time now.
She's hooked.
Yeah, she's hooked. And so when she did her little investigation with James at the train station last night, they were getting a response from one of James's old friends from back in school and such, and guy he knew for many years that passed away.
Right.
And they were getting responses from him in the train station because he died shortly down the way from the train station, like within about 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got that, you could see the look on his and hers face, because it was the first time he'd ever heard it in there, and she didn't know who it was until he explained it to her.
Right.
So,
right. Well, you just never know. Like I said,
no, you don't.
You just got to pay attention to what's happening. Yeah, exactly. And especially when you can get some validation from somebody like she did. It's like
Yeah.
he was telling her exactly what this, what this spirit was, or who they were, or who,
Yeah.
we hope they were. We're just gonna say who they hope they were.
Yeah, exactly. Because us, we while we use like the ghost boxes and stuff like that as a tool, we don't put as much. How can I put it? We don't put as much credibility into it. Use it as a tool, but you don't know what's coming through there if something else is making it happen. You know what I mean?
There is a lot of equipment out there where you can get false positives.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to make sure you can back it up with something else.
Yeah. Yep. And like I said, I'll do a full write up though this week because I've still got all the static cameras I've still got to go through. My audio, my poor digital voice recorder that I've had for several years, it froze up when I was trying to work it yesterday and it got stuck. I worked it. I've had to take it apart and finally got it to where I could download the stuff off of it. But unfortunately, it's no longer with us. So, I am depressed. I will not use my phone as a voice recorder. I refuse to.
No, I refuse to do that too. I have
will
to
use a
have
digital voice.
separate. Yeah, I have to have
Exactly.
a separate recorder, digital recorder. Absolutely.
To tell you how old this thing was, it was a 16 gigabyte, and that was the best at the time. Okay. Now the same brand, the lowest you can get is 128. So,
well, I have got, and I'm a big fan of Olympus. Olympus is one of my favorite recorders to use.
That was the first one I ever had.
I bought myself one, and then later on, about 2 years later, I bought my daughter the same model, same everything, and mine has been beat to crap. I'm just going to say, and it has a lot of, I guess, things run through it that I can't explain. And actually, somebody was holding on to it as they were being pushed down a flight of stairs and held onto it to where they dropped it. It hit at the bottom of the stairs, and it's got a little black thing that goes through the screen, and it still works. And I still use that one. And believe it or not, I get more things still on that one than if I were to put both recorders in the same location.
I believe it. Yeah, I think Olympus is probably top of the line as far as I'm concerned with that. This is an old RCA.
Oh yeah.
I think this bad boy only has like 128 gigs, or not gigs, megs, not gigs, megs. This is how old this thing is. This is the battery. You see what the battery's doing, right? It's sticking to where the speaker's at. That's how old that speaker is with that magnet that's in it. So
right. Yeah, I got a Zoom 360, Zoom 360, and that one is a little bit harder to use. Only because when you're live listening and you got your earphones on and everything, it's picking up all the sounds all the way around you. So when you're wearing the earphones, you have no idea what the direction the sound is coming from. Exactly. That's why I like my Olympus, because it's a 180. It goes from side to side to front and doesn't hit the back of me. So I always know at least where the sound's coming from.
Yeah, definitely. So,
but
see, I've never done any of the live. Yeah, I've never done any of the live EVP. I've always just done it, and then I review the EVP sessions after everything's done.
Oh gosh, I listen while I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I listen afterwards.
A lot of people do. I just
listen
never
walking around.
Yeah.
But see, that's my thing. That's what I enjoy. I like the audio part of everything. A lot of people like the video, or the electronics or whatever. I just like to listen. That's where I come in at, because I hear a lot of things that people don't
Yeah.
catch. So that's
And
my thing.
Smurfy's
But I
right.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
I
can get
mean,
one
you
for
can catch
less
a
than
lot of
100 easy.
things.
So,
You can catch a lot of things easy.
oh yeah, and not even meaning to. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I'm glad all these cameras, the static cameras, all of those have mics. Every single one of them have mics.
Right.
So I got sound and video to go through with all of those now. So
Right. And you can
that's
find
gonna be
out which
fun.
one from which camera it came from,
Exactly. And
where the
with
sound is coming from. Yeah.
so,
Well, that's
but
awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I had fun with it. Let's put it this way. We got done it. We wrapped up about 1:30 or so in the morning there. And of course we fell back, obviously.
Right.
By the time we jumped in the car, everybody else goes to sleep, and I'm literally driving the 2 hours back. Just saying, I'm not going to stop. I'm going home. I get here,
Yeah.
it's 4 o'clock. So I'm like, but actually it was 3 because of the fallback. So
Right. Right. So it wasn't too bad. Too bad.
no, it's a nice little trip and it's get you out of here, but you're not far enough away that you don't have to, you can make it home if you have to.
Right. Well, things like that. Sometimes if I'm close like that, I will go home.
Yeah.
Um, because you're wound up. I mean, you're
Yeah.
wound up from the investigation. You can
Yep.
do a couple hours and that's not an issue. You're
Yeah.
wound up. Of course, last Saturday I was done.
Yeah.
I was fried out. Done.
Yeah. I about to say y'all did a bunch last Saturday though.
Oh yeah. I mean, we were going for hours and hours and hours. I think things started happening immediately at like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Apparitions were being seen, shadow play, shadow people. Everything was started at 1 o'clock and it ran all the way through till 2 o'clock in the morning. And even when, because everybody voted where I was going
Yeah.
to sleep. So even when I made my bed and laid down, even 20 minutes after that, things were falling. You could hear footsteps. You could hear it
Yeah.
all.
Oh yeah.
It was amazing. Hmm.
That's just, I can't put across to people that haven't done it before the adrenaline rush when you really get into something,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
when you get into something that really reacts to you. Now we didn't have a whole lot that really reacted to us, but it was enough to get the girls going and make them happy, very happy,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
wanted to do this with me for a long time. I'm like, let's hold up on this one. I don't know if you should go to this one yet. I can't hold them anymore. They might be on their own from now on. They may take my stuff and go.
Right. It's like, well, you can't hold them anymore too, but you can
Nope.
guide them in like, hey,
Yeah.
you know what? This
Yep.
one is, because we've been to some places that are just, I
Yeah.
wouldn't recommend anyone young going in. If I won't
No.
take my daughter to it,
Yeah. And
I
hey,
wouldn't let her go. Period.
you met Abby. She wants to get married at Hill House. I'm like, whatever.
Go ahead.
I may not
I'll
be there for
come.
that one.
I'll come.
Well, yeah, I'll come, but after y'all go to y'all on your honeymoon, the reception is an all-night investigation.
That's right. That's what we're doing. All right. Well,
So,
I guess we
but
should get off of here.
yep, we've been an hour and 10, and it's been fun. It went a lot faster than I thought it would with the first
S-
3 actually. So I was like, dang, that took a lot
Smurfy
longer than I thought
said,
it would.
listen, Smurfy said my younger daughter's name is Abby also. So is mine.
Yours is Abby. I've got an Abby. He's got an Abby, and the
Yes.
spirit that's associated with the Select Theater in Mineola is also named Abby. So as we were walking, and the lady kept talking about Abby the spirit, Abby mine, turn around, what?
You're right.
Every
Right. So
time.
there you go. Abby is the
So
name of tonight. So there you go.
there you go. So, all right, guys, we appreciate y'all being here. We will see y'all next week, and I will do my best to have a full report on other stuff. And if I've got any actual evidence on those things, trust me, it's going to be on here.
We're going to figure it out. All
We'll
right.
talk to
Good
y'all
night,
next time.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.